What you waiting for? It's time. Time for love. It's time. Time for the sun and sand. It's time. Time for fun. It's time. It's time. It's time to let your hair down. Come on. Come on. Come on. To have no fear. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's time. What you waiting for? It's time. 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 What you waiting for?
Hey, and a ho, ho, ho. Good morning, Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Merv Bretto Show. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Merv Bretto, and we are going to be discussing some very interesting topics on today's show. Sadly, the tragic loss of a young person for a very minor infraction. The cockroaches, they're out in force again, once again, as the CJP protests in Delhi. Goa's unemployment problem. Is there really an issue with the youth being unemployed or people in general being unemployed? The enough movement takes on the casinos. What is actually happening? These and many more interesting, thought-provoking topics coming up on today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, as we always do, once we do this, we always introduce the team that makes this all happen and puts us all together every week here on the show live. Let's start with the big fella. We're actually working with a skeletal crew today. We're going to start off with the big fellow. So if there's any big glaring errors, you know who to contact. The one and only. You can hear him laughing.
Hey guys,
Mr. Ajoy Barreto.
Thanks, Merv. Another Sunday, and we're sorely missing. Really,
don't be silly.
Just get this done with, man. Get married and come back to the studio as soon as possible.
He's at marriage counseling, you know that, right? He's at marriage counseling. I shouldn't be announcing that.
I'm trying to fast forward things for him.
Dude, you still got a chance. Run while you can. Listen, I've got a car running outside. Don't make the set. No, I'm kidding. I'm happily married. Ladies and gentlemen, on another microphone right here.
Marriage instruction. It's not marriage counseling.
It needs marriage counseling once he gets married. Another gentleman on the mic today, taking Willie's place and helping out, is a gentleman named Mr. Neil Rodricks.
If you smell what the rock is cooking.
Huh? What did he say?
If you smell what the rock is cooking, apparently.
अरे बाबा हेडफोन पहिली गाल मरे मागी रोलो मरे तो काय को ये ना बाहर मरे तो. How you doing, Neil?
All good, man.
Last but not least, the wordsmith, the Terminator, the Wordinator. I just called you the Terminator. The Wordinator. The beauty and the beast, and today she was more of the beast. My beautiful wife, the one and only Mrs. Joanne Brito.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Nobody can dampen my mood. I'm looking forward to the World Cup starting later this week.
Oh, wow.
What?
Do those late hours as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's in the early hours of Friday morning for us. It kicks off in Mexico.
On Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday the 11th. It'll be Friday the 12th for us, and it's going to be Mexico taking on South Africa in the opening match.
Any shout-outs? No shout-outs today, Joanne. You normally do a couple of shout-outs before we get going.
I might save them till the end.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into the Merv Bretto Show, the show we do live every week. It is our take. It is our way to give back what we can, whenever we can, to this place that we're so passionate and love so much. We live here in Goa, and there's a lot of stuff that's happening, good, bad, and ugly, that we like to talk about. So there's a lot of topics that are trending, topical, in Goa, in India, around the world. This is the only live broadcast show which we do, and we try not only to make you more aware and educate you about what's happening here locally, but we give you our take, and a lot of times it's a little bit contentious. We talk about topics that people might not agree upon, but we need to make people aware of what's going on. So we do the show as a labor of love. It is a live broadcast show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can get in touch with us on social media, wherever you get your social media, on the screen right now, on X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We've got a Merv Britto website, themervbrittoshow.com, www.themervbrittoshow.com. Check our previous episodes or more about the team that actually make this all happen. The best and my favorite way to get in touch with us is live on the air. You can dial a number. It's on WhatsApp. You can send us a message. It is 7507-246-246. And if you don't believe we're live, call us, 7507-246-246. You can send us a message. You can read something out, or you can come live on the air with us and discuss what we're talking about. By the way, before I go any further, we have to mention the fact that the opinions expressed on this show are the opinions of the people expressing them and not the expressed or implied opinions of the Merv Britto Show. And after that mouthful, let us jump right in. I want to talk about this because it really, really bothered me, Joanne.
Well, I think this is also about the perils of social media as well, and people trolling others online, these kind of keyboard warriors. I think what's really, really sad is this young guy has died allegedly by suicide.
Introduce it. Talk. Explain to people who don't know about it.
It's really sad because this young man was allegedly seen disposing of some rubbish by the roadside, and somebody had actually shared it online, and he'd got a lot of abuse about that, a lot of trolling, a lot of people kind of chastising him for the action. And then I believe the police had actually issued a notice for him. And it wasn't a criminal offence or anything like that.
I know you're talking about something that happens very frequently. It's not the end of the world. This is a young, handsome, good-looking guy who made a mistake.
Yeah.
Anybody perfect out there? Can throw the first stone?
No.
Can point a finger? It's a mistake. He's made a mistake. He screwed up. I make mistakes all the time. It's just a shame that he took his own life, dude.
Yeah, it's just really, really sad because I believe the family, they just wanted to pay the fine and move on and get on with it. But I think that they were supposed to have been in the police station for maybe about 10 hours and stuff like that, and it was really getting dragged out, and unfortunately within 48 hours this young man had died.
They've claimed suicide.
Yeah.
Right? They've claimed that he committed suicide. I don't, first of all, I don't agree with suicide. I think it's a cowardly way. But this is a young guy, and it's sad because a lot of times you don't know what their situation is.
Mervyn,
and you don't know exactly what happened, though. I don't think this good-looking guy, this young guy, would be... It takes balls to do something like that, Joanne.
If you've got people who take their own lives, there's some mental issue that's obviously disturbed them so much that they feel that there's no way out, and they feel that they've got to do something drastic to get out of the situation. So, it's very harsh to say something like that. I
don't mean it to be harsh. I'm just saying to you, my thoughts and prayers go out to the family, by the way, the parents, the siblings, anybody, his friends and family that know him. You really do have our condolences on behalf of the show. Yeah. But this is such a young, he's got his whole life ahead of him. Yeah. And it really makes me wonder, it makes me worry that something so trivial, it was a mistake. We're all human, but how? Adro, you mentioned something to me earlier, that he spent a lot of time, I don't know how many hours in the police station. Dude, he littered. He made a mistake. Fine him, give him a challan, right?
Correct.
You're going to grill somebody for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours in the police station, and it stressed him out that much that the poor guy committed suicide.
So there are various questions that need to be raised here. One is, I can't believe that, we have reached a stage in Goa that we have a death over something as trivial as garbage collection and disposal. It's a shocking, in my opinion, failure of our system. And it's unconscionable that we could lose a precious life over something like that.
But Ajoy, right? Garbage is an issue that happens. It's completely separate. We're talking about this poor young guy. We're not going to mention his name. We're not going to talk about anything else other than the fact that may God bless his soul. But at the end of the day, you really think he would have committed suicide over something so trivial? Because it's hard to fathom. It's hard to get my head around it, dude.
So the first, elephant in the room is that there is an issue of garbage collection in Goa. I'll give you an example of. I won't forget that once we finished the show, once we had gone out and we were having a meal, at least I was, and I've told you this before. I was approached by a couple of tourists who were carrying a big bag of garbage, and they came to me and asked me. This was late at night. I think when we finished the show, it was about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and they asked me where to dispose this garbage. Now, right there, there's a problem in Para, for example, that somebody wants to do the right thing, but they don't have the option to do so because the system has failed them. And I'm sure this may be the case with this young gentleman who sadly maybe have been forced to throw garbage in these various spots that are mushrooming up around Goa, where you have what they call garbage dumps. So unfortunately for him, he was caught on camera, and there was somebody who was trying to do the right thing. The person caught him on the camera also was trying to do the right thing.
But what I'm saying to you, Ajoy, it's happened. It's over and done with. Yeah, he made a mistake. He's done wrong. He's not a saint. He littered, right?
Yes.
But we all make mistakes. He's a young buck, and I just hope that they get to the bottom. I don't want to harp about this, but I hope they get to the bottom of it and actually figure out if he did commit suicide, or because it's a very, very, very harsh reality for someone to take their lives over something so trivial. We don't know the history, we don't know the actual details, but I hope they do an autopsy and get to the bottom of it, because at the end of the day, you've lost a young person life. Any life is important, but over being caught or being exposed littering.
Yeah. So the next question that has to be raised is obviously the police did their job because apparently an FIR was registered, but one has to question what kind of punishment was meted out to this guy, if it was over the top and which caused him to probably suffer a mental breakdown.
Ajoy, we need to put details. If anybody's going through a hard time, suicide's not the answer. Taking your life is not the answer. There's a lot of people which have mental health issues or issues. I have, Lord knows, I have all the mental health issues in the world. There's a line you can call. There's a helpline. I forget his name, Dr. Peter, right? Dr. Peter Castellino. This foundation called Cooch, it's on the screen right now. Bad enough that you're going through a tough time and the youth don't have the ability to cope. Suicide's not the answer. Check it out. There's the website's on the screen right now. Is there a telephone number somebody can call?
Yes, it's at the top. If you go back to
Scroll up.
Go back to the top. There you go. There's a helpline there.
Distress helpline, 6361612525. That's an easy number to remember. Yeah. 6361612525. Reach out. If you know somebody's going through a tough time, or if you're going through a tough time, that's not the answer. Call this number. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. You have superstars around the world, top names that talk about it all the time. It's an issue that people don't like to talk about, and especially here in Goa.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, if you need help.
Ajoy, I was going to say this ties into this garbage issue. This ties into the lack of education. And we've said this so many times, Joanne, kids in school aren't taught to put litter in its place. You don't have the facilities to put the litter and garbage in its place.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing I was going to say, I mean, essentially, the really, really sad thing, I think, with what has happened, he wasn't allowed to leave the police station until 10 o'clock at night. So they'd been there for 7 hours. He wasn't able to pay a fine and move on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that for something like this, as opposed to it being like an FIR or something like that, if we can, start some kind of community service program in terms of being able to have litter drives and things like that, because very independently, people in certain areas of Goa will do this kind of thing. But if there's like a community service system that can be set up to help, so positive things can come from it. And then people like this young guy could have been, obviously now I can see how there are ways in which we can help the community, and you can turn a negative thing into a positive thing.
There's loads of stuff that's happening. Actually, people might not even know about it, Joanne. Yes, there is help out there, but it's probably one of the hardest things when somebody is going through distress and stress. They turn to drugs. They turn to all kinds of stuff, right? And you as a friend, as a family member, as somebody known, should be the person to reach out and to try to help. We're not perfect. We all make mistakes, but that's an extreme case because you got caught littering, mate. You got caught on video, or you spent time in a police station. May God bless this young person's soul. And like I said, there's help out there. Speaking of garbage, speaking of drug, there's supposed to be a massive issue with drugs here in schools.
Yeah.
What was that topic? What was that the heading you're talking about?
Essentially, it's talking about the fact that Goa, because it's been a tourism hub for such a long time, and there's been such a massive nightlife for many, many years, that there's been a drugs issue, an ongoing drugs issue. But there's reports that this is not just sticking to the tourist belt, it's actually moving into the villages, and there's more vigilance around schools and educational institutions, because it seems like the youth are being encouraged to try drugs and things like that. And supposedly it's like, the softer drugs such as weed, in that sense, which is a lot of people say is a gateway drug, but they're just saying that more and more it's not just isolated to the tourism belt.
It's a nasty habit. I'm a smoker, and I know how bad nicotine is. Drugs is 10 times worse. And I've grown up in the States, and I've seen how bad drugs and the menace and how it can absolutely tear apart people's lives, families, how it just destroys a person. Yeah. And it's sad because you do have a big tourist. You can't blame the tourists, actually. There's places and countries around the world where they have a menace with drugs. Yeah. And it actually eats into a generation, dude. Yeah. So I'm glad people are paying attention. And if this is a problem, I just hope that the government officials, what is this about Stellar Academy? You trying to get me in school or something, Neil? I just hope the government is paying attention. It's the education. The drugs have to be controlled by the authorities, police. Yeah. But again, I come back to education, Joanna, about littering, about drugs, don't take drugs, don't do drugs kind of thing. Yeah. It needs to be taught to kids. The education minister, you pissed off the goddamn CJP, the Cockroach Janata Party, right? Mm-hmm. This is exactly the change we need to see. Drugs, alcohol, all the things out there. Yeah. They just need people to be educated more about them. Yeah. Well, you dabble in these things and they could kill you, dude.
Absolutely. I was going to say, Neil, if we can flip back to the original story regarding the drugs in the local areas, you can see, I don't know whether you can actually zoom in on that table. Essentially, what that's saying is that in the last 3 years, over 680 kilos of drugs have actually been seized. So they're saying...
So, and that's only the stuff you know about.
I know. That's what's been seized. That's what I'm saying. From 2023, it's saying 171 kilos up to 234 in 2025. So it's saying that there were 15 raids and 19 arrests.
That's a joke. If you're telling me in the whole year 2023 you've seized 171 kilos,
that's all they've seized.
That's bullshit, dude.
That's the point. But I was surprised that there were as few as 13 raids and 19 arrests. I would have thought that there would be a lot more than that.
Joanne, it's not something new, and Goa is a party destination. It's a tourist destination. You can't blame the tourists for anything. But when there's demand, there's going to be supply. People are going to fill these voids and make money, right? Yeah. You've got authorities in place, like the police departments and the government officials, that are supposed to crack down and make sure that's fine. You're going to have a problem. It happens in the most rich, educated countries in the world. But I'm just saying to you, in a place like Goa, you want to minimize that problem, especially with the young people. Teach them at a young age how bad this problem can potentially be.
Absolutely. Basically those 13 raids and 19 arrests are actually from January this year, but still, we're kind of 6 months into the year now, aren't we? 5 months into the year. And it's saying it's like 84 lakh worth of drugs have actually been seized. And there's a lot of cocaine supposedly around Mapsa, 57 lakh worth.
But I'm laughing at these stats. Neil consumes more coke in a goddamn month than this 234 kilos.
I thought it was Pepsi, not
No, he's
Coke.
a Pepsi drinker. I'm just saying to you, these are stats to laugh about. These guys have publicized this. This is in the Herald, right? Yeah. In 2023, they seized 171 kilos. In 24, 275. In 25, are you kidding me? This is one seizure in most places. This is what they seize in a week or a day dude, come on, man. This is laughable statistics. So let's not be proud about it. More importantly, we're talking about the fact that this permeates society, and the young people that are most vulnerable, that don't know any better, will try it to be cool. And that's why we did it in the States. I started smoking and drinking because I wanted to be one of the cool kids. And this is what the education system here. I want to talk about the cockroaches. And the education minister. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But this is sad because this is happening in Goa, and you're going to have people that die because of this.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're saying that there's been 49 deaths actually in 90 days, which was basically, they're saying it's a drug war. From January to March, there were 49 deaths. According to, related to drugs.
Yeah. Are you a Coke person? You do a lot of Coke?
I mix Pepsi and Coke together.
I normally mix soda with my Coke because it's too sweet.
But you know what, Merv, I'll just tell you just quickly here. I see a theme in our discussion points today. I see a theme. I don't see what happened to that poor gentleman, young boy, as an isolated case. I feel that the youth is under such strain today that, they take to drugs. And they're mentally fragile because of this strain, that even something like, the garbage issue can cause such a drastic step. So you will see this theme today. I feel if you actually connect the dots, you will see that unemployment leads to drug use, leads to fragile mental state, and we need to do something. We have to come up with ideas. The education system has to come up with ideas.
There you go. You just hit the nail upon the head. The E word.
Yeah.
It's education, it's upbringing, it's background. Our parents used to beat the shit out. You know what? I hated my parents growing up, but I thank God for my parents every day I'm alive today, because if it wasn't them being strict and instilling the values and morals, listen, we did a lot of musty mischief, call it what you will. But at the end of the day, we were brought up with values and morals that we know right from wrong, right? Nowadays, there's a blurred line because parents struggle with the fact that the internet just absolutely exposes this generation to everything. It can be such a great tool for good, but it can also expose kids that have never seen Coke or drugs and how to do them and all. So it's a hard thing. But there again, it comes to upbringing, background, and education.
I would say though, Mervyn, you were rebelling against your parents. You didn't hate them.
No, I hated them because I thought my parents were so. No, I know. You know what I mean, sweetie pie. I love my mom and dad.
You were rebelling.
I was rebelling, but at that age, you hate them because they were so strict, and everybody else got to hang out late and do all the fun stuff, and we had to be home saying the rosary, saying the flipping the Angelus, and doing our homework. And we were sent miles away from our houses to go to school, and we hated it. And I literally hated it that time. And God bless my parents. I thank them every day for what they did. It's a different time and a place. It's a different change in society and technology. Yes, sir.
Yes, Merv. Can you imagine you growing up today? What would have happened to you?
Oh, I'd have been in jail. I'd have been in jail. I'd have been the father of 5 kids, dude.
But you know what? I'll tell you what, Merv. I think it's a blessing that we grew up in the 80s. You maybe in the 70s.
Watch it. Hey, I still can reach you, man.
You still look better than me. I'll tell you that. But I think with all of these technologies and the access to information, it is actually a bane rather than a boon for these kids. It really is. I'm going to disagree with you, Bubba. And technology can be a powerful tool and a very good thing. It depends on how you use it. But I always come back to the fact that it starts at home. Education, your lifestyle, your morals, your values, your upbringing starts at home. You can't blame the teachers. The teachers spend a lot of time with the kids. Mm-hmm. But it's the parents that instill these morals and values. And our parents beat the crap out of us. And I don't mean in a bad way, but I'm glad they did. Nowadays, kids they're spoiled, dude. They're snowflakes. There's a lot of them. I'm not generalizing. There's a lot of really good kids, and I'm proud of my nieces because of the young adults they've become. But I thank God for their parents. And I genuinely believe Willie's out doing his marriage counseling, whatever the hell he's got to do before he gets married. You should have to take a test and a license just like driving before you have kids, because it's so sad how kids, and I'm not talking about specifically Goa or India, around the world, there's so many kids that are unwanted, that are unloved,
The parents don't know any better. They behave badly, and it's the kids that suffer and continue growing up, and they have kids of their own.
But also, I think it's about encouraging kids to be able to talk to their families. I think that, in this society, it's not just isolated to this society, but I do feel that people are less forthcoming about being open with their families.
They're embarrassed. They're embarrassed. And if you don't have those difficult dialogue conversations with your kids about sex, about suicide, about drugs, about alcohol, they're going to go out and figure it out on their own. And that's the worst, right?
Yeah,
my dad always said, you want to get drunk, you bring your friends over here. I will let you sit and you in front of me. I can see what y'all want to taste, try, whatever the case. It's supervised, right?
Yeah.
We did it behind our parents. I'm going to get locked up on the air.
We need a book for that, Murph. We need a book for that.
I'm giving myself away. No, the point I'm trying to make is kids have it tough. And it's not just, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming the parents or the kids because they have it hard. Today, in this day and age, it's hard. You've got to make money. The parents are out there working their asses off to provide. They don't have the time to spend with the kids. But at the same time, kids have access to everything. So it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is that you can use technology for good. There are help hotlines and people out there that you need to talk about. If you're going through a hard time, my son, my daughter, my sister, my brother, my cousin, mate, I'm here for you. I'll go with you. And I know from personal experience, I've interacted with people that have gone through a hard time, and I always said to them, I will do what I can to contribute, but you need to reach out. You need to understand that there is a problem. I'm going to come back to Ajoy. Ajoy, you mentioned education. Mate, I love you for that because it's the E word. You talk about debts, you talk about drugs, you talk about suicide, we're talking about all the nasty stuff. I want to talk about go on.
Well, I just wanted to say that with something like this, when people are dabbling in drugs, I just think, like most things in life, there are enough examples out there that shows you why people shouldn't really get involved in drugs in the first place. Sex, drugs and rock and roll. A lot of these musicians over time, they become a shadow of their former selves because they were so rich, they had the access to so many drugs and alcohol, and then they've gone into rehab years down the line and all of that, and everyone's heard those stories. What makes anyone else, any man in the street, any different to someone who's living a rock and roll lifestyle? Doesn't mean to say you can control it, and most of the time it ends in tears.
But I've said to you, it's about the background, it's upbringing, it's your parents, your family, your surroundings, your morals and values. If you have children, you got to be responsible to take care of them and make sure that these kids are brought up to understand, listen, it's out there. You can have access on your phone tomorrow. That's not the problem. You just need to be taught to know better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merv, you hit on a very important point that it is when you're growing up, right? The development of the brain happens when you're young. And this is an age that is very, very impressionable. So I can guarantee you, and not guarantee you, but I think I have a strong case when I say this, that if somebody was to start doing drugs or start smoking, right? Maybe after the time that their brain is fully developed, they will not be turned into addicts, will not be so sucked into these bad habits. But it's during the young age that these habits form. So from bad parenting to social stigmas, to social pressures, to all of these vices, if these things could be avoided somehow,
it can't be avoided. Ajoy, peer pressure is going to be out there.
It will make a huge difference in the adult life, for sure.
Ajoy, you're overstating. You're stating the obvious, my friend. You're absolutely right. But I'm saying while they're developing, if they don't know any better, one bad dose or one overdose can kill somebody.
That's
right?
true.
And nicotine, I'm saying as a smoker, it's one of the worst habits. If my mom and dad always said, as long as you're under my roof, my rules, you will go to church every Sunday. I don't care till you're 18. Once you're 18, you decide.
Yeah.
And if you want to smoke, you will pay rent. That money that you're spending on buying cigarettes, you will contribute, and as it should be.
Yeah.
If you're going to live under my roof, you're going to follow my rules. You're going to contribute to but that's a different generation. Parents are too scared and they want to be their kids' friends nowadays. Spare the rod and spoil the child. God damn it. I
was going to say when I was younger, my brother had actually taken up smoking sneakily and we didn't know it, but we had a top loader washing machine and my mum had put the clothes in the wash, and uprising to the surface was this tobacco. And my mum's like, what the heck is this?
She found it in the clothes.
What happened to your brother?
Then she got 20 cigarettes, and she was going to do that thing where you make someone smoke all the cigarettes
Till
in
it
one
burns.
go so they'd be sick. But then he was enjoying it too much, so she just grabbed them off him.
Yeah, bullshit. You smoke, as a smoker, I'll tell you, smoke 5-6 cigarettes and it'll burn you. Listen, it's not a nice thing. Anyway, we're making light about it, but we need to talk about these things. We need to talk about these very delicate, very awkward and uneasy topics with your children. If you love them, if you've got kids, and if you've got nephews and nieces, and if you've got cousins, and you see things, as a responsible adult, it is your duty to speak to them, to explain. What they choose to do is a different story. But that's why education is so important, mate. I want to, Ajoy, you mentioned about Cooge. We put is there a hotline for anybody that wants to look, or Alcoholics Anonymous and Nicotine Anonymous, quit smoking,
sure
all these
there's-
things?
I'll have
that we can-
Neil look for that. I think there should be, and if not, then that's not a good thing. We should have that.
You should have, and people should have access to it. Like I'm saying, if you know somebody going through a hard time, help out, reach out, give them a helping hand. It's tough enough out there in the world today.
Yeah.
I want to talk about all of these problems, by the way, are happening here in Goa. We spoke about unemployment. These kids need direction. They need a job. They need something to do.
Yeah.
Pocket money. We're going to talk about the Goa College of Arts that's going to be shifted. But I mentioned in the monologue about the unemployment. Do you really think that's a problem? Do you really think in Goa there's not enough work, or people are too damn lazy and they don't want to work?
Well, essentially, I was doing a little extra reading around this, and they're saying that the youth unemployment rate is 8.3%. However, there's also a question mark regarding, how many people were in this actual study, because I think in terms of the sample size, it was only the size of what would I say? A community area in a larger state, and the sample size was only about 652 or something like that. And essentially, it's saying that within Goa, people are maybe not declaring themselves as working, but because it's seasonal employment, they might be working for 6 months of the year or something like that. Also,
Can I tell you the number one issue? Everybody in Goa, especially the Goans, I'm talking about Goans specifically, are all barkars. We don't work. We want to rent out that front garden to some hawker vendor. We want to rent our bikes out. We don't want to go out and get a job, learn a trade like our parents and grandparents did. And it's sad because there's a lot of work if you're willing to work hard, and I call them the snowflakes.
yeah.
We run a business, and we're always looking. If you're looking for a job, come to me. I guarantee you, if you're willing to work hard, I will give you a job. But sadly, in this day and age, this next trend, this next phase, you've had the industrial age, now you've got the AI phase.
Yeah.
If you're not going to jump in and learn how to cope and be willing to work and work hard, and it's all about hard work, you're going to get left behind. And we talk about education, but you know what? The Cockroach Janata Party was pointing fingers at the education minister.
Yeah.
And that is something that is so important, I'll try to talk about here in Goa and India. Our education system is outdated. It's archaic. It's a goddamn joke. Nobody who goes to the shalas and the public education is going to be on an equal footing and be able to compete on the world stage today.
Dare I say, Merv?
Yeah, Baba.
Dare I say that even the private schools, their method of pedagogy is absolutely outdated. There is no emphasis on critical thinking, rather than it's more emphasis on rote learning, which is not going to help you in the future.
But Ajay, sorry, what has the education system changed in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years?
I can tell you, basis what I see my nieces studying today, and how my nieces study today, and how I used to study, there's not been much of a difference. In fact, like just take, for example, just something as simple as learning Konkani, right? You know what? One of the reasons that people fail are Goans, especially people who speak English at home, don't do well in Konkani, which is shocking considering that you're Goan, is because when you start learning Konkani in school, they don't walk you through the steps of building your vocabulary, make sentences, form paragraphs. No, it's straight into the basics and straight into learning a big poem which has got very high what you call literature in Konkani. So how can you expect a 5-year-old to do that?
But Ajoy, that's what I'm saying to you, right? And this is something I want to stop and talk about more today, right now, is the education minister. You forget about the jobs. If you have people that are being educated properly, and don't reinvent the wheel. Our education system here is a gosh darn joke. You've got some very good schools. I want to St. Mary's in Bombay, Baikala. Shout out to the Blue Ties. The point is that education was as equally important as it is today. Yeah. But the way you educate your kids, the way you're taught, the teachers do such an important job. Yeah. And it's a whole generation that gets harvested with an education, can go anywhere in the world on an equal footing. Yeah. We were ahead of the curve when I went to America as a 14-year-old. I was ahead. The kids thought I was a genius. No, they didn't. But I was ahead of what they were learning in the same kind of age group, right? Yeah. But I'm saying to you, your education minister, the Cockroach Janata Party's pointing finger, they wanted to resign because people committed suicide because of all the leaks of all the papers. Ajoy, what you're saying is so true. Learning poems and all this crap is not going to teach you how to be. There's the education curriculum, the topics, the subjects, the way you learn with calculators and all that kind of stuff and how to use these tools. You need to be taught, and the education minister needs to be the best in his field to be the leader of education in this country.
Can I just say, Neil, go back to that education conundrum, unemployment conundrum. That article that was in the Goan is actually a really, really good article.
This one?
No,
what's this?
The other one.
Neil has...
This one.
Okay.
This is a really, really good article, because if you read in this article in depth, it's essentially saying that in terms of this labour job market, what's it called? The periodic labour force survey. This was done in 2025. Essentially what they're saying is that Goa was the equivalent to a district in a larger state in the rest of India in terms of being comparable. But what it's saying here, that over the decades, Goa's created a great job market for labourers, housemaids, construction workers, waiters, tourism related stuff, as well as blue collar and municipality workers and everything. But that's a lot of people from outside of Goa that are doing those jobs, and it's essentially saying that Goans are not ready to take up those jobs, and the educated youth are waiting for government jobs or white collar jobs. And I found that really, really, really interesting, because it's saying that many households in Goa, 20% of bank deposits constitute from NRE deposits, which
they're being spoiled. They're being
20,000 crore worth.
They're being spoiled. Kids are being. The parents think they're being their friends. They think they're solving a problem, and their feet. Mate, what happened to good old fashioned hard work, summer jobs? Get your ass out there, wash the car, cut the goddamn grass, do what you need to do. But I'll give you an example. I'm going to speak about Yusuf Mataji as an example. Yusuf, I love you, brother. The point I'm trying to make is he works hard doing what he's doing. He's good at video and graphics and blah, blah, blah. But that's a trade. That's a technology he has learned and he's mastering, right?
Yeah.
Education-wise, you really think our kids get that level of education where they could walk into another country and compete with a Chinese person or an American or a Canadian or a Westerner?
No.
They can't, can they?
Not right now.
What is your education minister or your local person in charge of education doing about this? Your national education minister, your local education minister, the person in charge of your school district? Yeah. Are you doing anything about it rather than collect a paycheck to make sure that the whole generation learns about littering, about language, about culture, about being proud of your heritage, learning there's so much that has changed since the education curriculum was implemented in a lot of our schools right now. It's a joke.
Yeah. I mean, essentially what they're saying is it's not necessarily unemployment here. It's about underemployment, because they're saying there's about a skills mismatch and a shortage of quality jobs for the aspiring
people who want to work.
Youth. But
people that want to work.
Yeah, but I was going to say, though, aspiring youth, if you're aspiring for something, I feel very, very strongly that you have to do something. You can't just keep I'm very aware of people who do keep going for these government jobs, and they keep taking exam after exam after exam, education and qualifications, and you're 28, you still haven't got a job, and you're still going for government exams to get government.
Why do people want government jobs here in Goa?
Because it's perceived as being a little bit easy street.
You know what the word cushy is?
Yeah.
Cushy. It's simple. It's easy. I'm set for life. I show up and do whether I work or don't. Right? And I've got a job for life. That's not what it's about. Government jobs should be given to the best qualified, right? And your ministers that are in charge of these departments should be the best qualified. Your people, whether it's nationally, statewide, nationally, whoever it is, it should be the best qualified people that are put in charge to run these departments. But you're responsible to take care of your departments and do the best you can do, right? But if you're not doing your job, or you're not doing a good enough job, who obviously there's got to be repercussions. You're going to lose your job. But I'm saying to you, it's not that there's no jobs. People aren't willing to work hard. And I'm not generalizing, because you've got a lot of success stories, people out there that have worked their tails off and built empires because they were willing to work hard. We're talking about a lot of young people. Suicide, we spoke about education. We're talking about the leaking of papers. We've talked about ministers. We've talked about a lack of jobs. In this same discussion, before we move on to something else, Ajoy, you and I went to the Goa College of Arts. A big shout out to Goa College of Arts, because we wanted to try and hire some qualified young people that wanted to come and learn and work with us here on the Merv Brito Show as interns, learn how to talk on a mic, control OBS. Neil's putting his hand up. Why do we want people from the Goa? And we're talking about the fact that they're moving, but why do we want to hire people if everybody's saying there's no jobs? Why are we desperately still seeking more people to come and work?
Education.
Baba, if you don't put that goddamn headset on and get close to that mic, I'm going to come and bop you. Sangoloy.
Our schools lack, providing skills. I remember when I was younger, there was an attempt to mimic the Japanese system wherein they would teach cleanliness to the students. And guess what? Parents complain saying that you're making my child work. They filed a complaint. Imagine.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but that's a parent's stupidity, right? Any dumbass parent that would go to the school and complain about people that are being disciplined and taught how to be clean, those parents shouldn't have kids. You're not doing your child a disservice or you're doing a child a disservice by not teaching them and letting the teachers do their jobs. Why is Japan so successful and China so successful and all these other countries, right? Because the kids from a young age are taught right from wrong. So you don't blame the kids, you blame the parents.
Even there's no, extracurricular in the schools. I remember when I was in school, we had subjects like music and sports, and they were so sad. They should just tell you to go sing and come. They should not teach any notes, any instruments, even sports.
But Neil, who is in charge of overseeing to make sure those kids are passing those levels? That standard at 7, 8, 9, 10th. Those teachers are doing their jobs. They have exams, right?
Yes.
And if those teachers are not doing the jobs and a lot of people fail, how do you report it? How do you fix a problem? Who's that lady we promoted, by the way, who won the World Teachers? What's her name?
Ruby Nagi.
Ruble Nagi, right? She should be an educational huge influence, a minister, because she knows, and there's many more Ruble Nagis in Goa and in India. I know so many passionate people. Who's the lady that passed away who had the school in Panjim? You know what I'm talking about, Ajoy?
No.
She used to sing. God darn it. Who was the lady, the principal?
Yeah.
Sharda Mandir. Who started Sharda Mandir? God almighty, your sister works there, God.
No, she doesn't
No,
work at
she doesn't
Shardamari.
Who was the lady that died, that passed away?
Giselle's friend.
Yeah, what was her name?
I've forgotten.
Ajoy, you're as smart as
All I know is my sister is would be up there.
So she should be in education. All of these educators, these people that are actually passionate about making sure that their kids are learning, and it's not about rote education and these outdated systems that are in place. The curriculum, it's a joke, because you couldn't have these people take care of themselves in the world.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I mean, there's no use just having people learn by rote. And Ajoy, you're absolutely right about critical thinking and things like that, because I interview people all the time here, and I mean, I don't know whether you're shocked or not to know that people will turn up and they haven't got even a clue who we are and what we do.
Really?
They don't know what the company
They come for an
is.
interview, right? And they have no clue, no research, no knowledge. This is the training. Sorry, Joanne, I'm interrupting you, but this is the training in the school, how to get a job, how to fill in a CV, how to speak to a potential a person, an employer, right?
Yeah. So I give people feedback and I'll just basically say, how do you think this interview's going? And they're like, not very well. And then I'm saying to them, listen, what you have to do, you're trying to promote yourself, like as in you're in the shop window, you're at the shop window and you're trying to convince me that I would take you on. Now there's quite a low threshold in the sense that we like to give everybody an opportunity. But, you know, if you can't do the basics of coming and knowing who the company is, what the company does.
That you're interviewing for.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. These are the skills that you need to be teaching kids, right? Neil, you mentioned educate music and all this kind. Excellent. That'll help you. That'll balance you out and all this kind of stuff. But in this day and age, don't you think how to get a job or how to interview? You can search it on ChatGPT. You can use AI but you've got to be willing to put in the time. Make the effort. It's not going to fall into your lap, right? I was talking about Nisha, by the way. What school did Nisha found?
Yeah.
Nisha, the school.
Nisha, I'm confusing. Sharda.
No, it's not Sharda.
What was Nisha's school called?
It was called Nisha. Nisha school.
These are the people, these are the educators, these are the giants in education, right? Ridley, and all these people, they should be the directors. They should be the people in charge of the education system, not these clowns that just keep going day to day. And like Neil's saying, whether they're taught in that class or not, they just go to the next standard and then they graduate, right?
It's a sad state of affairs, Mo. It really is. Because I remember when we started our first topic, I said there's a underlying theme that is connecting all of these things that we're talking about today, and it obviously you want to create discontent in the youth.
Yeah.
Because you're not inspiring them to do more. I'm telling you, you give them a chance. You fix our education system where there is a joy to to learn. And you would all of these problems would be solved.
Ajay, but that comes from a teacher. I've got so many teachers. I could name 5 teachers off the top of my brain right now that made such an impact on me in school in the States. I went to school in the States. Yeah. I went to Mount Abu in Rajasthan, but I was too young to remember that. We had the Irish Christian brothers that were phenomenal. Mom swore. My grandpa, my dad, like a lot of people went to these schools, right? The educational system was amazing. I love this headline, by the way, government to appoint consultant for GU Common Campus for 6 colleges. Yeah? This is why, don't reinvent the wheel. This is what you need. Somebody to shake the goddamn, think outside the box and shake the shit up, shake the system up, and hire the experts. Don't reinvent the wheel. Do what's being done in a place where it's being done well, successful, right? But get these people to come and fix your education system because it will change a whole generation, guys.
But this is trying to get all of these campuses to move on to Goa university sites. So that's why they're talking about moving the college, what is it called?
The Goa College of Art.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're saying that basically is a really inspirational location, gives people time to breathe and
inspirational
think and be creative. Supposedly, that's what it says in the article, but you guys know differently.
So Merv, you want to recap what we had touched upon some time back about the Goa College of Art, please?
I'm going to get people throwing shit at me, dude, if I talk about the Goa College of Art. I was so excited because you mentioned, tell me, go on.
We need a dose of reality again. Go for it, Merv.
We do need it, and that's exactly what the show's all about. Yes, Neil?
No, I just wanted to ask Joanne, if you're hiring a fresher, like who has not worked and they have come to you for an interview, how would you, decide the salary for a fresher, and what would you see in a fresher who has not worked?
Basically,
what's more important? The salary or whether somebody's willing to work, put in the time, willing to show up on time, willing to learn. I'm spending my valuable time and imparting my valuable knowledge to teach you something, right, Joanne? Yeah. Sorry, go on.
So I'll tell you, basically one of the points I was actually going to make is so often we get people, what's the salary and what are the working hours? Okay. It's like, okay, this we'll discuss at the interview. Okay. However,
what do you bring to the table?
Yeah. It's according to experience. And many times I say to people, listen, I'm not a college. coach. I'm not bringing you on to train you. I can train you, and of course you'll be coached and trained in your specific role, but you've got no work experience. You want me to pay you so I can teach you. It's like there's something a little bit wrong there. I'm not one of these colleges in MAPSA charging to teach you how to use a computer.
But Joanne, it's sad because we want to. We're looking. By the way, if you're looking for a job, contact us. Contact us here on the Merv Brito Show, 750-7246-246. I swear to you, I will guarantee you a job. If you're willing to work hard, whether you want to work on the show or whether you want to work with Joanne down in the internet business, we've got an ISP. We're always looking to hire young, older, retired people. I don't care. If somebody's willing to work, we'll hire you. But you've got to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
You and the basics of having a successful two-way relationship in a new job is be willing to work hard, commit yourself, be on time, hungry to learn. You wherever you go in any business, if somebody's willing to hire you, yes, you're going to do a job, but you're going to learn something too, right?
Yeah.
It's going to increase your CV.
So Neil, basically, in terms of the way we work, we'll basically say, hey, listen, this is your starting salary. However, if you're confident in your ability, that salary can go up within the first 2 weeks. Even before you get your first paycheck, that starting salary could have increased immediately. It's all according to how you're working, how you're inputting, what value you're bringing to the table, and also, are you actually putting the effort in? Because so many times people expect that, okay, I'm taking them on, but it's up to me to make them be able to do their job even after training. But you've got to take your own responsibility and put that extra effort in. And I always say to people, your starting salary is exactly that. And that can go up immediately. It's in your own hands. But people don't believe it.
No, but
so I wanted to make a point. So suppose someone is applying for a CRE, you even as a fresher, you would look like,
of course,
you would look for comm skills, right?
Yes. Of course.
And if it was an operations guy, you wouldn't look for comm skills. You would look more for technicalities.
Baba, hey, just come to and be willing to work.
My point is, we have only a set of 6 subjects that we learn in school. Which everyone has to do. There's no segregation of what you're good at. You do that only. So imagine if there was someone who went full day to school. He had, he had been part of debates. He was a good orator. How smoothly he would have been able to crack that interview of yours.
Absolutely, Neil. The whole point is, even if you're a fresher, we'll just say, come. Let's interview you. The people who I'll take on are the people who are willing to talk. They're not just going to sit there like biting their nails and just like
but Joanne, like that's this. Part of it. How you can speak. Listen, it's how hard you're willing to work, how you speak. This is what needs to be taught in school. The youth need better training, education, a better skill set, how to cope, how to interview. When you go to an interview and I talk like this and I'll speak to themselves. Mate, I'm not going to hire you. Learn to speak. Elocution skills. If you're willing to come to work on time, and when I said to Neil the other day, by the way, I'm going to tell everybody about Neil. We start work. I wake up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the office by about 8. Neil said, you wake up at 8 o'clock?
8?
8. I'm in the office at 8. What time do you start work? I come to work at 10 o'clock. Okay. That's not a dig, Neil. I'm just saying to you, we had to listen. In 2026, people need to understand. It's not about how much money I can make. It's what am I bringing to the table? I'd be an idiot not to hire somebody who's willing to work hard, who comes qualified, they've studied hard, they've got diplomas, degrees, whatever. We have hired some brilliant people, by the way. I am not bagging on everybody. I'm just saying to you, people complain about not enough jobs. I'll hire you tomorrow. Come and meet me. Give me a call. I will hire you a job. If you want to work here on the show, come with some experience, something you're willing to bring to the table. But more importantly, when you come to an interview, come there prepared. Come on time. Speak properly. This is the training that they need. They need a course in school about how to get a job. Why did we start talking about Goa? The Goa College of Arts is moving, Ajoy?
Yeah, just quickly on this, we had gone to the Goa College of Art. It's a campus in Pororim. First of all,
in Panjim,
it's in Pororim, Panjim, right? Sorry, my apologies. In Panjim, Altin, Panjim. My apologies. It's hard to do multiple things on the show. Anyways, they say it's an inspiring place. What do you think, Murph?
See, you always bring me back to this. I need to kick your. Let me just say to you. I was very disappointed because when you talk about a Goa College of Arts, I would expect to go to a campus and see a building that blows your mind. Like, things don't make sense. It's beautifully painted. It's colored. There are art installations everywhere. Blah blah. And I was sadly disappointed. I saw tube lights hanging off the ceiling in the place.
It created a new segment of art called drab art, didn't it? But I'll tell you what,
dude, it's an art college. You've got. It's like having a prison. If you can't keep a prison clean with all of the free labor you have, an art college where kids can come and paint and murals and expressions and different installations and all, mate, it was depressing. It was really embarrassing. And we were there to try and speak to the not the alumni, to speak to the educators,
the principal, and the
listen, we want to hire some of these people. If they're interested in a job, tell them to contact us. Here's a flyer.
Is it like Tracy Emin's unmade bed, that famous unmade bed that was an art installation?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about. Let's not listen. And then you wonder why you got people lacking in skills, because these education facilities and these curriculums are so sad, and they make us look bad, and they make our Goans look bad, and these people go to a gunfight with a knife.
Merv, they're planning to move by the way, the whole point of this conversation is they're planning to move the Goa College of Art in Alteen Panjim to the Goa University campus.
Yeah.
Now, the Goa University campus itself, in my opinion, is no great shindig, right? And this is the travesty of Goa. Joanne the other day had said that, not other day, she had said on this show that there is a mismatch between the kind of education we're giving and the kind of jobs that are being provided in Goa, right? And this is the problem, right? Because Goa could have been a hub for education. It can still be a hub for education. We could have had a world-class university attracting not only students from across India, but students across the world, from Africa, from Iran. I know this happens in Bangalore.
Joy, right? It's happening now in different states in India, right?
Yes. So why not Goa? Right?
Yeah.
Why not provide a better education to our students and attract the world? It can generate jobs.
Yeah.
It can and you can create people PhD in science. Great people who are doing research. It could have been so much over here, but it's so sad.
But you got casinos. No? We got casinos now. Why you need your education university?
Exactly.
Why you want to learn and study? I got a casino here. No.
No, listen.
Come and learn. I'll teach you to be a dealer. No, I'm kidding. I'm being silly.
Going back to that article from the Goan, it was basically saying that there's calls for demand-based employment policy suiting Goan youth. And they're saying, for example, Mopa Airport Aviation Skill Development Centre, they're saying that should be a model on which to base giving more, having more actionable training programs, and saying that new projects should be linked to being able to have some training element.
Brilliant.
And providing jobs.
Brilliant. Teach them how to work at an airport. I'll come and work for free at the airport, by the way. Anybody at MOPA, you want to learn how to take care of international visitors and tourists, I will teach your people how to speak and welcome and make them feel welcome when they come to our beautiful Goa. Put a smile on their faces, tell them which way they need to go, and tourists go here and Indians go here, vice versa. But learn how to interact and do a job in a place where you're interacting with tourists. If you want to be a chef, you've got some of the most beautiful cuisine here in India and Goa that you can learn how to cook. Everybody goes out on the ships and they come back. We went to lunch the other day. They go out and learn these trades, how to cook steaks and burgers, and come back and have the loveliest restaurants.
Yeah.
Why don't we have training here in Goa with such a large industry for restaurants and service industry and bartending and it's a non-brain. But Ajoy, do you hear about it?
The thing
why do you have a 31,000 crore deficit in Goa, and why are you complaining about jobs and all these Debbie Downer things if all these things exist?
No, there are skill-based courses, but you know how the courses are to
I want to change this. Go on.
If you want to make a drink, everyone is sitting in the class, the sir makes the drink, that's done for the day, go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Neil, stop making these stupid excuses. People know it's happening. The kids know it's happening. They should be complaining. You should be able to tell, listen, principals need to judge and monitor the teachers in their schools. If they really care about the next generation, they need to monitor. And you got the district education minister, you got the state education minister, you got the central. Mate, this is happening, and it's continued to happen, and you're leaving these poor young people with a handicap.
And Merv, check this out. Even now, because of the prevailing economy, even these kind of jobs are becoming difficult basis what we're seeing on the papers today.
That's why people are coming from other states to work in Goa because we don't have enough servers and bartenders and waiters and waitresses and whatever. But you've got the facilities, like you mentioned about having a world-class college. Why don't we have a world-class college? Do we not have an education minister? Do we not have the funds? Do we not have people with the foresight and and these leaders that can actually make a difference and make these things happening? Are we still struggling in this day and age? We've got the best tech.
We have a debt of 31,000 crore, which we'll talk about.
Talk about it now. Why talk about it? Talk about it. Yes.
There's a couple of points I also wanted to make, because also additionally going back to that Goan article, it's essentially saying that, there need to be deeper studies, that the casinos, there's so many people employed by the casinos, and there are white collar jobs on the casinos. Why are no Goan people really being employed there?
One industry. And all these guys come in from the Northeast. They actually harvest them from the Northeast. Yes, there are Goans on the boats. What I'm talking about is probably 70% are from another state. And I'm talking about that in general in the hotel industry, in the restaurant industry, and the shacks. Why do we not have more Goan people willing to do the work? Your goddamn lazy asses, get off your ass, work hard. You can have a restaurant of your own in time.
But there's a claim that people are not necessarily knowing where the jobs are, and that the government should be providing a centralized portal for employment, knowing what jobs are available.
They should. Ajoy, why did you mention 31,000 crores? What is that? What is that number?
Mo, just before we go to that, just to talk about the fact that there's no option. Here's this option here where you can actually go and find jobs.
Wait, I need to go there. I would love to get a job. I need a job to hire and train people how to get goddamn jobs. Hey, all jokes aside, one platform, countless opportunities, endless possibilities. Is this a job fair?
It's next Sunday. Yeah. You don't need to do the show next Sunday. Just go to the job fair.
Ajoy, can we go to the show and interview some people?
At the job fair. What's it?
Ajoy,
why not?
Can we go to the show and interview people there?
I don't think we can do things live from the show, but we can try. We can go. Why
At Dr. Shyam Prasad Mukherjee Stadium, indoor stadium in Goa, there's going to be a job fair. All you bums out there that need a job, go there and you'll get a job. I'm making light of this. That's enough. I'm not promoting this anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, there's loads of jobs. You just need qualified candidates that have studied hard, that have worked hard, why don't you have any of the toppers in their classes looking for jobs? Why don't you have some of the highest scoring students looking for jobs? Because they've already been harvested. They've already been sourced and they're getting great salaries because they put in the time.
Snapped up.
There you go. Goa's debt nears 31. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Forget about 100 crore. Forget about 1,000 crore. This is 31,000 crore. Economists sound alarm. Experts call for urgent action to prevent interest obligation from impacting public welfare and infrastructure, suggest ways to raise more revenue. Why are we raising more revenue if the revenue that is raised is not being put to use? Why should we pay more money in taxes if the money that we collect in the coffers is not being put to proper use and we can't see where it's going?
I have an interesting question here. How much of this 31,000 crore went into education, firstly?
Oh, great question, Ajoy. Ajoy, that's not a joke. Don't laugh. You just asked a brilliant question, right? How much of this 31,000 crore, or how much in the state's budget for education actually goes into educating kids or teachers? These poor teachers do such a hard job. They work so hard to educate our kids, and they're some of the poorliest paid and the hardest worked. The police, I don't want to get into the police. I don't want to talk about the cops. That's a different topic. We've been hijacked. They took me hostage. Ladies and gentlemen, you're still tuned into the Merv Brito Show. The opinions expressed on this show are the show's the opinions being expressed on the show are the opinions of the people expressing these opinions and not the expressed or implied opinions about the Merv Brito Show. You can get in touch with us right now on social media, as we do always. We love the interaction. This is a live interaction show. These are the social media handles on your screen right now. We'd love to hear from you. The website, themervbritoshow.com, and most important, if you want to get in touch with us, 7507-246-246. We'd love to hear from you. This debt burden just really broke my back, and we just went off the air because it was just too heavy to bear. Joanne, 31,000 crore is a big sum of money.
Yeah, so it's basically the public debt has actually doubled in the last 5 years. So it's gone from 16,472 crore in 2021 up to 31 crore in 25-26. So essentially, like I was saying just a little bit before, that 29% is on staff salaries and 16% is just to service the mounting debt. So essentially, Goa seems to be a little bit trapped in a vicious cycle because they're expected to pay a huge interest amount of 11,370 crore in the next 5 years.
That sounds insurmountable. That sounds like an absolute mess.
Yeah.
You've got, I don't mean to laugh, but you've got very smart people that manage the budget, your enforcement, your exchequer, you got whatever, whoever you've got doing this. Yeah. Why are we in such trouble? Because this is when, it should have been done a long time ago. You need to sound the alarms, right? Yeah. This transparency, where is this money going? Ajay asked a brilliant question. How much of the money went for education? Or you can ask and go through and check and see where this money's. But how do you get to a debt of 31,000 crore?
Well, essentially it's saying that in terms of the overall costs, it's saying that the government is spending money where it doesn't need to be spending money, doesn't need to be spending money on new buildings, new offices for government departments. It's essentially about the overall infrastructure of the state itself, spending money on, the public spaces for Goans, the amenities, the public facilities, and essentially it's amounting to more like a betrayal of the Goan people. It's, you've maxed out the credit card.
Yeah, but you're spending money you don't have.
Yeah.
You're spending money you literally don't have, right? So we pay taxes. We pay a lot of money in taxes. I'm talking about me personally, us personally, but I'm saying a lot of people, Goans living here in Goa, from wherever you are, if you operate, you've got to play by the rules, and we pay a lot of money in taxes. Where's that money being spent? How do you get to it? This is as bad as the States, dude.
Yeah.
You're spending money and you're just printing more money and you hand over fist. But that's the kind of questions we need to be asking the people in charge.
Yeah.
It looks bad, but these people don't seem to be embarrassed about just basically totally dropping the ball, mate. That's 31,000 crores worth of debt. That the finance alone, my God, I'm scared. Look at those figures on the screen.
Yeah. So those figures, that's what I was saying. It's like the debt has doubled in the last 5 years, but they're talking about a fiscal fix, which is stopping this wasteful government spending, increase foreign tourist footfalls, boost manufacturing, increase export.
And I'll grow my hair back.
And then streamline the extraction of iron ore transportation and recover outstanding tax liabilities.
You're spending money hand over fist, but who's managing, who's balancing the books?
Yeah.
You've got a huge amount of money that's being generated by the casinos, right? By the iron ore, the mining industry. There's money coming in, there's taxes coming in. Don't tell me we're broke. Don't tell me this is absolutely scandalous. That's why you need Justice Rebello. I need a Justice Rebello. I swear to God, this is exactly why we're talking about the most qualified, the best people in position and power for those jobs.
Yeah.
And it bothers me, sweetie, when I talk about these things. We were talking about youth being better trained and educated, upskilled.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to cope and compete in 2026 here in Goa, in India, or around the world. We need education ministers to be on the ball. People, not education ministers, but people like Neil's talking about, where kids are just being passed through the system without the teachers doing their job and training the kids that are putting them in this bad position, right?
Yeah.
But the education minister of India, the education minister of Goa needs to sit up and take notice.
Yeah.
Technology is changing. AI, social media, all these things are changing and evolving. You're still teaching kids how to the old ways of how things were done in the 60s, the 70s.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed a whole lot, right? And that's what's scary. With the age of the internet and AI, you can find the answer, guidance to anything you could possibly want a question to.
Yeah.
Why is the system so archaic and outdated? The processes. Help the youth get better, right? Help them to be better prepared and to be able to cope on an equal footing, to survive,
Yeah.
to strive, to excel, right?
Of course.
Let's talk about Justice Rebello.
Yeah.
Because I'm so fed up of banging the drum and losing my voice talking about all the bad things. We've talked enough about the negative, right? Let's talk about something good. Enough's enough.
Yeah.
What's that mean to you?
Well, enough's enough. I mean, essentially for me, it's all about, let's not just keep putting up with this nonsense in perpetuity. So, as we know, there is a groundswell of support for Justice Rebello, and they've actually petitioned the governor. So they've written to the governor, and they're essentially saying that there's been continuous extensions for the casinos to be able to operate in the Mandovi. And really and truly, that was only supposed to be a short-term fix, and they were supposed to be operating 12 nautical miles off the coast. But there's been extension after extension, and Justice Rebello and team have been pointing that out, and they've written to the governor explaining that. So if you're dealing with an ex-High Court justice, I'm sure he
knows his shit, yeah.
Legal nuts and bolts of these amendments and extensions.
But what blows my mind, and it really, really gets my goat, is how has this continued to happen? If there was a temporary injunction for, okay, till we get blah, blah, blah. You're not supposed to have buildings or houses or structures being built inside a CRZ, 500 miles, whatever, 500 meters or whatever the case may be. Casinos are not supposed to be allowed to be onshore. They're supposed to be 12 nautical miles.
Yeah.
But this is not something new.
No.
You've got this new massive boat that's going to be parked in the Mandovi in the next few months. And this is what they're fighting, right?
Yeah.
Justice Rebello is I hate to sound extreme, but is our only hope right now, because he and his team, by the way, they've got a team more than just him on his own. He's got a team. There's a lady and a couple of other people. They've taken pictures and posted pictures.
Yeah.
But he is your only chance and hope of fixing these injustices.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there were notifications in 2013 and 2016, which was basically stating that the casinos needed to make alternative arrangements, and it's still being pushed down the road, kicked down the road, kicked down the river.
Kick the can further down the road till the next government, till the next. Listen, this is all about elections and politics and government and officials, and people's pockets are getting full, because this is not something that should be happening right now.
Yeah.
Why are they? Joanne, I want to ask you, have you noticed the number of land casinos that are popping up like mushrooms?
Oh my word.
Oh, many.
Ridiculous.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's illegal. You can't, mate, this is not what Goa's specialty is. This is not what we're famous about. That's not what people come here to Goa to gamble.
It's not illegal. It's basically because these are the electronic casinos.
No, but I'm saying to you, why are there so many all of a sudden? Who's collecting the taxes? Where the money being paid with these guys are being allowed to build these or operate these casinos? Where's that money going to, right? We're 31,000 crore in debt. Mm-hmm. Where's the money going?
Yeah.
Or money's being spent. Obviously, it takes a lot of money to run a state. I'm not, listen, mate, I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm asking questions that people need to ask. Why are there so many casinos, land-based casinos, popping up like mushrooms?
Yeah.
And this boat that's operating on the Mandovi right now is a temporary, supposed to be 12 nautical miles off, right?
Yeah.
And a new boat's coming to replace this boat. And there's not one, not two, not five. There's more than 7 or 8 boats on the river right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Why is this continuing to happen? And that's why I'm saying to you, Justice Rebello, I'm a huge fan. The Enough's Enough movement, I'm a huge fan. Support these guys, because if you can't do it, support the people that can.
Yeah.
These guys they're putting their necks on the line. They're putting their reputation, their names, and putting politics aside, because they're genuine. Just like us here on the Rebello show, who care about this place and see it going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
They want to do something about it. I want to talk about the CJP in Delhi.
Oh.
The Cockroach Cockroach Janata Party, right? The guy who started all of this in the States has come down to Goa, come to India, right?
Yeah, he flew in on Saturday, actually.
But why ask this question last week? Why the F are you doing what y'all are doing and not doing more? Use this momentum to your benefit. You've got 22 odd million followers. Use it, mate.
Yeah.
What happened? They were in Delhi,
Yeah.
and he's come back to India. And what's going to happen? Anything positive?
So basically, they were protesting in Delhi, demanding for the education minister to resign because of the NEET paper leak. So the exam paper leak, which has obviously caused an awful lot of upset and, distress amongst students, and allegedly had led to some students also taking their lives. And they're essentially saying that the education minister of India should resign because obviously it just seems like it's complete chaos.
I'm glad we talked about it earlier before we talked about this current topic we're talking about.
Yeah.
It comes back down to education. The education minister should be embarrassed, should be ashamed. These guys, the CJP, the Cockroach Janata Party, absolutely kudos to you. Come together, be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
Not ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. But you've got to be able to question the government and the officials. Or they're scared. They took notice.
Yeah.
They've blocked a lot of these sites, right? But you guys, as the youngsters, as the youth, need to be holding people responsible. Yes, you're absolutely right. Your education minister should be ashamed and should be held responsible. People lost their lives because of the leaks.
Yeah, I know.
Why doesn't it happen anywhere else in the world?
Well, I'm sure it does, but obviously this is quite a scandalous situation. And I think obviously for the CJP...
Is that the dude?
Yeah, the guy that's speaking there. So yeah, he's the one that's flown in from the States. So I think they're wanting to mobilize and make it count. Let it not just be some online phenomenon or fad. It's more about being able to actually mobilize people and get something positive out of this. But apparently there were about 2,000 police that were present at the protest.
At Delhi's Jantar Mantar. Police detained 6 to prevent confrontation between two groups during the CJP's protest at Delhi Jantar Mantar. The point I'm trying to make is we're not trying to stir it up. We're just trying to make people aware. And the fact of the matter remains that if you young people can't make the changes like they're doing all around the world, there's no hope. We support Justice Rebello here in Goa because he is the right person, the right authority, right lineage, the right, what is it called? The background.
Heritage.
The heritage. There's another word.
Education.
Whatever. He comes from the right background to be in a place like Goa, and set things right.
Yeah.
But on a national stage, the Cockroach Janata Party needs to be doing a little bit more. We'll use this momentum while it's happening, Jack.
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to say they were distributing pamphlets actually during the demonstration, which was demanding accountability, seeking justice, and calling for the education minister to actually resign. So apparently they were saying that they had a petition and they've had 8 lakh signatures of people agreeing that they actually want the resignation of
the minister?
Dharmendra Pradhan. Yeah.
Dharmendra Pradhan. There it is right on the screen. Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? If this guy Dipke, listen, you've got that kind of support, mate. I'm so happy that this is actually going to happen or things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's the youth, it's the next generation, the unemployed, you're the cockroaches. You've been called cockroaches, right? You've got a say in this. You need to be holding people responsible. You're call me a cockroach. I don't care. At the end of the day, you need to be holding these ministers and these government officials responsible for their jobs.
Yeah.
And if they call for the guy to be removed or his resignation, mate, there's a reason people are so annoyed and angry about it, right? You claim to be a democracy. These people are speaking their mind, and it's the truth. And it's coming to the forefront, and social media is magnifying this.
Yeah.
And they need to use this. They need to use this momentum. Yes, sir.
Marv, there were some people trying to sabotage the protests.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
People, were giving answers to the media, very controversial, who are not part of the protest. And
gonna
then
happen,
there's
Neil.
this guy.
Who's this dude?
He came with cockroach spray. apparently.
Did he?
Hit.
Yeah.
I will not let this. But what's this guy? I mean, at the end of the day, you're always going to have detractors. You're going to have people that don't like what you don't. You're never going to make everybody happy. If you don't like it, dude, stay home. But if he's Indian, he's got a voice. Absolutely, he needs to make his voice heard. But at the end of the day, you're always going to have people that are pissed off about anything you do, how good or bad, right? So this is a democracy. At the end of the day, it is a democracy, and he should be allowed to speak. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have people that are going to try and make the Cockroach Janata Party look bad, Neil. They've got to stay on point, on target. They need a Justice Rebello over there, dude.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's some activist and educator, Sonam Wangchuk.
Yes.
And he was there. He joined them.
Is Sonam not a woman?
Is he the guy that was there with Dipti?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Which one? Who's Sonam? This is Sonam Wangchuk?
Yes.
So I think his mum is a little bit concerned. She's feared that he could get arrested for speaking out.
Yes. So Sonam was, I think he's from one of the northeast states, I think Ladakh. Mm-hmm. And he's supposed to be a very well-known activist.
Yeah.
And I think a professor, if I'm not mistaken. He's an educationist, right? And he had voiced his concern about something to do with Ladakh or Leh. I can't remember correctly, but he was imprisoned. And it's very recently that the courts released him and said that he was absolutely innocent and he should have never been in jail in the first place. Yes.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff's going to happen, Ajoy. People are going to be put away because of the power they wield. And if you, and here again, I'm saying it out loud, if you piss off the people that are in power, God help you. Because they were scared. The government got scared because more than the BJP and the Congress and all these government parties, these political parties, these guys have 22 million followers.
Yeah.
You've got these big names joining this group. I just hope it goes the right way, the right direction. Mate, use it for good. Use it to make the changes and make this country proud. It was on CNN. I couldn't believe I was watching CNN. They talked about the Cockroach Janata Party. Mm-hmm. And I was so happy about it. It's made an international impact. Okay. Can we talk about something more fun, something nicer, something? We're pretty deep into the show. We're going to get close to the end. What do we want to talk about? I wanted to talk about turtles. Somebody talked about. Did you not speak about turtles?
Yes.
Yes. But this is coming out of ashram, you know. It's a very beautiful beach. Mm-hmm. And
who's this dude?
Apparently they have seen a not significant rise, but a rise in turtle nesting on the beach, which is amazing considering that it's in the heart of the commercial beach belt of Goa for tourism activity.
The Oliver Ridley turtles that you know what? We used to have them on a lot of beaches here in Goa, by the way, not just Ashram and Morji and all these places where they actually have the hatcheries. Yeah. But this is a good sign. This is a positive. This is a move in the right direction. Yeah. And you actually, kudos to this government official, whoever manages this.
No, he's Mark. See this guy?
Oh, is this Mark?
Yeah, Mark Farrow. So for 16 years, he's been monitoring the turtles because he was working for a resort. And so out front from where he works, they were positively monitoring. So if you can see in the table there, you can see how many. Read it out, Murph.
Which ones?
Just read out.
Turtle hatching.
Hatching data from Ashram.
Like what the latest is.
Alive babies released. Fertile eggs. Mate, I'm not going to go through the whole chart. I'm just saying to you.
The whole thing from from the top to right now.
Okay. All I'm saying to you is this is a good thing to talk about. I'm happy we're talking about something positive. That's actually a move in the right direction. Mark Farah of Ashram. Yeah. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. We do appreciate these people that actually committed. Yeah. They're passionate. They really want to make a change and they're willing to work their tails off, get their butts in gear and work hard to make a change.
So they're basically saying that the nests from 23-24 was 447, which was up from 162 the previous year, which is amazing.
Eggs laid 45,493.
Yeah, which is great. And then the hatchlings released, you can see it's saying 28,707. So that's a real positive story. That's real progress in the right
We just went through World Environment Day, and it says World Environment Day special. Goa's young guardians champion a greener tomorrow. This is stuff to be happy about and proud, because this is a move in the right direction. There was a bit of a scare about Goa's fishing community, sounding the alarms about reducing fish catching or fish catches.
Yeah.
They're always fighting with Maharashtra and not Karnataka about the people fishing in the wrong places. That always scares me because we love our fish here in Goa.
Yeah.
Is there a problem?
So they're basically saying that they're shrinking catches, and they want a study to be carried out so that they can just find out in the sea, in the areas where they would normally be fishing, what's actually going on for there to be reduced fish in the areas. So, I mean, that would take something quite entailed, I would have thought. And you've got your guy Pele, who's leading the fishermen, who's actually just saying we really do need to just look into this, because obviously day-to-day expenses are going up, but these people are not necessarily always covering the expenses to kind of take the boats out.
Pele should be our fisheries minister. But
there you go, Ajoy. And I hope you don't mean that in a joke. I hope you're being serious.
That at all.
Dude, I love that, man.
He's so inspirational.
His name's been mentioned multiple times, Ajoy, in the last on the show.
Absolutely. And you know what? He is a positive figure. He, even despite all these problems that they have in the industry, he's always looking to derive some positivity out of it and to change the system, and he's the man for the job. You know, they say putting your ear to the ground, he's got this ear to the sea. Really, he does.
But that's what I'm saying. Why is he not an advisor, or is he not on the board, or is he not part of the committee? Or the minister for fisheries, or whatever the department is, dude? Because these are the kind of people you want that are really passionate, that'll make the change.
Yeah, he's reaching out to members of parliament in Maharashtra also to get involved and just find out exactly what.
Mr. Pele Fernandez, we thank you for your service. All these guys, they mentioned a bunch of names. Traditional fishermen, while Joao Fernandez, there's another Joao Fernandez, Francisco Pereira, all you guys, this is how you make the changes. This is in the Heraldo. You can read these articles in the newspaper. This is where we're taking them from. I love this because people are actually taking notice, but these are the people you need, rather than your fat cat ministers that have no clue about what the hell's actually going on. I think we mentioned that lady minister was it a lady minister who had never been on a boat and she's the fisheries or something? A couple of weeks ago, we had a picture of her.
I think we'd mentioned
from South India or something. They brought her here to show her the travesties that are happening right under her nose. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. Another thing about tree planting, the talk about the good here that happens here in Goa. We talked about all the trees, and we're constantly bummed out about the trees being cut. Tree planting work starts in South Goa. We spoke about that, dude. We put a reel out, didn't we, Neil?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is this? What's happening here? Multiple trees, Plantation Drive, Markwood Environment Day across South Goa.
So this happens actually every year, by the way. Even though that the chief minister said that they would plant 10 lakh trees, this is something that happens every monsoon, FYI, right? And the tree planting, of course, has started after the message from the chief minister. But remember, guys, we have to follow up. We have to ensure that these trees, if they're planted, that they survive, and then something good comes out of it on the long run, right?
Yeah.
What was the guy's name? We had him on the reel. Daniel with ideas. I think green ideas or something like that. He needs to be part of this industry, this part of this government association organization that's in charge of the environment here and going planting trees, because he's an expert in the field, right? So all these things that we're talking about, these are good things. These are positive steps. These are good things to talk about on the show. It's not always about the negative and the bad, but these people are the people that we need to involve because they're passionate. They actually care about what is being done, right? And it's not just foo-foo showing that we're doing planting trees and all, but it's the maintenance and the upkeep and the taking care of the trees long term. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I really, really love that. We're gonna wind down, dude. I'm getting hungry. Ajoy, why is it always the show always makes me hungry? Am I just hungry all the time? You want to talk about this? Is not something I didn't want to get into the inferno, but because it was sad because people, there was a silver lining to this nasty cloud. We talked about that poor guy that lost his life. at the start of the show because of suicide, because he got blamed. There was a nasty fire in Delhi.
Yeah.
And 21 people died in the inferno.
Yeah.
And we're really, really sorry that it happened. There was one guy who owned a mattress shop.
Yes, it was so quick thinking of him. So he and his son actually just rushed there with the mattresses so that people could jump out and escape the blaze. So it's just really, really sad. But it's lovely that people were so selfless.
What's his name? Mention his name, dude.
So his name is Riazuddin Mansouri and his son Arman. So they sacrificed 2 lakh worth of mattresses.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what humankind is.
This is lovely.
Neil, can you move that thing so I can read a name, or you want to just keep watching the? Is his name mentioned? You mentioned his name.
Riazuddin
Mansouri.
Yeah,
I can see it right there.
Oh, there it is. Riazuddin Mansouri.
Yeah.
And his son, Arman, sacrificed nearly 2 lakh worth of new mattresses to create a makeshift safety net for But that is what human kindness at its finest.
That's amazing. And quick thinking that too.
Yeah.
Think about it. He's saved, apparently how many lives has he saved? Everybody, does anybody know?
All the other twits are out there goddamn videotaping, doing fuck all.
Yeah.
This guy's out there putting his mattresses.
He needs, first of all, he needs an award.
Yeah.
And he needs to be compensated for his mattress and then some. The government should step in. They should reward these kind of guys, right?
Ajo, here again, a nasty fire kills these people. Why were so many people die? Why did so many people die in this fire? Were they trapped in? Are the fire authorities cracking down, or they're not doing their jobs, or whatever?
It's another birch-like fire. Yeah. But now it happened. It happens all over the country. It's shocking.
Yeah.
And it continues
that we are not trying to improve the system. We're not learning from these horrible lessons.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, if judging from the kind of excuses that are bantered around today for this tragedy, that's going to happen again.
Mm-hmm. It's really sad. So it's essentially saying there was no fire exits or anything like that. There was only one exit, which was basically at the front of the hotel. There were no clearances, and all the windows were sealed up, so you couldn't you couldn't easily get out the windows, and I think I believe illegally.
Read this headline, Joanne. He came, he saw, but didn't stop. Malviya Nagar hotel owner drove past the burning building instead of stopping to help. But this is exactly what happened with the Birch, right? These guys try to abscond.
Yeah.
Forget about this dude. We're not talking about this dude. This guy needs to be locked up anyway. Yeah. Where are the authorities? Thank God this is not here and it's not being spotlighted here. But why are the fire authorities not inspecting these and and verifying that these places have enough fire exits?
Well, the structure it didn't have the right permissions. It was supposed to be just ground floor +1, but then they'd built up, and also they'd done accommodation in the basement as well. So really sadly, a lot of people that were also staying in that hotel were actually there because they had relatives in hospitals nearby.
God damn.
So there was foreign nationals, weren't they?
There was quite a few. Yeah, I mean, I think was there 10 foreign nationals from Africa, and also from Central Asia.
And lo and behold, just no surprises here. That entire so-called hotel was completely illegal in many ways.
Yeah.
And again, the authorities did nothing about it, and hence we have this tragedy today.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying now, Joe. We've got government officials, we've got government authorities that are supposed to be doing this job, and we entrust them to do their jobs to save human life, to make sure that people are following rules and regulations. And sadly, people have to lose their lives before attention gets focused on these travesties that are allowed to occur.
And how sad and how irresponsible could we be as a nation? Even if as a business owner, where is our conscience when we know that you have a building where you're housing so many people, you don't have the basics, in place, fire extinguishers, etc., like we had in the issues with Birch, right? It's unconscious. You cannot do this. It's shocking and sad that we as a country are feeling so badly.
We talk about this all the time, and it's sad because people lose their lives all the time, and it's only when we come to know, but they're made a big deal about, do we come to know about it. Our thoughts and prayers do go out to the people that lost their lives and their loved ones, but this also highlights somebody like a Riazuddin Mansouri and Arman Mansouri, who quick on their feet, Indian ingenuity,
Yeah.
dumped a bunch of matches. To hell with the cost.
Yes.
Save some lives.
Lovely.
That is such a brilliant story. So kudos to them. Thank you, guys.
Yes, you all are heroes for
We
sure.
love you guys, man. That is something nice and that makes you proud to talk about.
Yeah.
To come down towards the end of our show. We've talked a lot about. Listen, guys, I talk about this and I say that this is only my take and this is only my 2 cents. But I'm not trying to paint everybody with the same brush. When we talk about these issues. I'm not saying all government officials or all young people are lazy. I'm not saying there's a lot of very good people doing very good work, working very hard.
Yeah, of course.
It's the people, the anomalies, the different people that want everything easily handed to them, or the people that don't want to do their jobs to make a living.
Yeah.
That want to get paid a salary in a cushy government job.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to highlight. So many gosh darn problems that are happening day to day. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been tuned into the Merv Brito Show. Can we talk about the World Cup? We've got the World Cup coming up starting on Thursday.
Yeah.
Who's going to win the World Cup? 1,000?
England.
Oh, come on. 104 matches.
Who you
Yeah.
got, Marv? Who you got?
I don't know.
No, we haven't done it. We're going to do a
Can we do a
draw
poll?
in the office. No, we're going to do
$1,000 a pop and winner take all.
1,000. What? You
Oh, no, sorry, for the office.
It's normally 100.
100 rupees.
Yeah.
You can buy as many as you want. I genuinely, I swear to God, I think it's going to be, can I give you 5?
Go for it.
Spain,
Okay.
Argentina,
Right.
Brazil,
Right.
and America.
Oh, please.
But you know what? That will be great for the sport. if
Yeah,
America-
किती हसता रे तुम्ही तो काय थापडा देऊन जाय किती म्हटलं incorrectly what I said wrong. Why are you guys laughing because I said the US?
Well, no, I mean, it would be great if they had the home advantage and momentum and they did very, very well. But, you know, obviously my loyalties lie with England.
It's sad because the price of the tickets are so damn ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous.
Forget about the tickets to the actual World Cup. To get there, to live there, to stay there, to commute around there, it's going to cost you.
I think there's going to be some huge inquiry after the World Cup because because the great thing is that it's extended from 32 countries to 48 countries. That means the number of matches is now 104. So the first round, you know, each group has got 4 teams in the group, and essentially it's going to take us from June the 11th all the way through to Sunday, June the 28th, before you then get the knockout rounds. So there's going to be an awful lot of football, but apparently with all of the prices, it wasn't even dynamic pricing. I was listening.
It's ridiculous, dude.
I tell you what, I didn't know how expensive it is to go to sporting events or any event in the US. And I was listening to a podcast where it was just basically saying, you know, it's been so cloak and dagger with these ticket pricing. It's not even dynamic pricing. They were just a slow reveal of ticket prices, and people, you know, a few rows behind were paying less than the ones a few rows in front. But then people didn't know, there was no published price range. So I didn't know this, but many people that went to see Taylor Swift in the UK had flown from the US and gone to see Taylor Swift in different cities around the UK because it was cheaper for them to fly to the UK and do it.
But I don't understand why it's being done. I genuinely don't. The World Cup is for the world to watch, right? So if
Yeah.
you want to go there, it shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg.
No.
At the end of the day, anything in the States, any professional sport, because they pay so much money, it's so damn expensive. The NBA, the NFL, what is it called? The baseball league.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but
Yeah.
the World Cup, they should be advertising. You've got different levels. I've been to basketball games. I love my NFL. I've been to Skins games, and they have different pricing. You got the nosebleeds where you pay $20 for a
Yeah.
ticket, right? But this is ridiculous because this should have been advertised and people know what they're getting into
Yeah.
and they know what they're paying. They can afford and budget it, right?
Yeah.
This is not for the elite.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But the problem is because obviously the great thing is it's being expanded and extended. However, because the pricing is so much, you know, there potentially could be a whole load of matches played without the fans from those countries actually being able to afford a ticket.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and so you're still going to be able to buy tickets potentially from some of those really much smaller matches that are not as popular. But the problem is, a lot of people, it's being said that there are reselling sites.
Scalpers, they're called scalpers.
No, they're actual sites. They're online sites, and essentially they're saying that FIFA are encouraging secondary sales on their own site, but they'll get 15% from the seller, 15% from the buyer. But then it seemed like a whole load of tickets were moving to some of these online platforms and moving back again onto the FIFA site. So there seems to be something not quite right about the ticketing and extortionate pricing, like some illusional £2 million ticket. And the FIFA president was going, if there's someone buying a ticket for $2 million, then I'll go and take them a Coke and a hot dog myself.
They should make him do it, because there were a couple $1 million tickets. There were 4 tickets sold behind the goal, one of the goals for two. But listen, I'm telling you this: where there's smoke, there's fire. It smells very fishy. Mm-hmm. And shame on FIFA and the club. They want 15% from both sides or whatever the hell they want, mate. This is you're making enough money on endorsements, on commercials, on all the advertising from all these big names. Yeah. Make it off the corporations. Don't make it off the poor people that want to come and watch the matches and support their teams. By the way, I got to ask you, what happened with Chelsea, the team, when they were home? Well, how did DJT get involved?
Well, the thing was, when I was listening to this podcast regarding the FIFA ticket pricing and stuff like that, I hadn't realized that they kind of made a little bit of a joke how after Chelsea had won the World Club title, what is it? Competition, like the inaugural World Cup competition, they'd beaten PSG. So that was in August last year. But normally you get presented with the trophy, and the dignitaries who give you the trophy, they leave you to it so that you as the team could just celebrate. Donald Trump gave Chelsea the trophy, and he stood there in the middle while they held it aloft, and the players are looking at us to say, what are you doing here?
Where was the match held? PSG and Chelsea.
It was in the States.
They played it in America.
Yeah.
PSG and Chelsea. Mm-hmm. And Donald Trump handed the award.
Yeah,
pull up a picture. I want to see this, dude.
Scroll down this photo. Scroll down the article. Look, he's right in the middle.
Are you shitting me?
You normally leave them to it.
Go on, Donald. With your bad self. Where's that buffalo? Put a picture of the buffalo, and I want to see how.
See Cole Palmer behind. He's like looking as if to say, "What are you doing?"
Good for him, dude. He ain't photobombing. He just gave him the trophy, and I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to get my money's worth. Oh, that's what it's about. I couldn't figure out why Donald Trump was celebrating with Chelsea. So, it is something that is so funny, because we talk about it, and I'm laughing about it right now. But you talk about nepotism. When I think of Donald Trump and all the people he's put into government positions. Yeah. And that's exactly what happens here with nepotism in India. And you put these clowns in positions that they have absolutely no place, no qualifications, that they have no right being in these big name positions. Yeah. And there he is, dude.
So this was in New Jersey, and there are actually matches that are going to be actually held at this stadium. And the stark contrast between Qatar, which was quite a controversial World Cup anyway, apparently the transport around Qatar was actually free. People were getting shuttled around for free, like on the
public transport.
On the public transport. But to get to this stadium out in New Jersey, it cost you $120 round trip.
Guys, I think Qatar was the best World Cup ever, if you ask me.
Have you ever been to a World Cup?
I've never been to one, but I know.
Who voted the best?
I'll tell you why it is. Because it actually gave, unlike this World Cup, which seems to be very, very expensive.
Commercial.
It's very commercial. Qatar actually made it easier for a lot of Indians to go and see the World Cup. I know this for a fact. I wasn't one of them, but I know that a lot of Goans, a lot of Indians got to see their idols play, got to go to a World Cup because Qatar was that accessible.
Can I ask you this question though?
Yeah.
Qatar is a small country, and everything's happening in a relatively close proximity, right? Mm-hmm. You've got access to Doha. They've got some of the best airlines. The Qatar Airways is one of the greatest airlines. Blah blah blah. But when you're doing it across 3 countries,
yes,
North America, Canada, America, and Mexico, right? There's a lot of logistics involved, right? The point I'm trying to make is it's not cheap in the States as it is, even if you weren't going to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The World Cup tickets on their own are that expensive. So, of course, Qatar is going to be a lot more enjoyable for people because you pay a ticket to get there and then everything's in a relatively close proximity and you don't have to sell your arm to get
Yeah,
in.
but it was controversial because of the migrant labor that died whilst building
Yes.
the stadium.
That's a different thing. That's sad. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But we're talking about price gouging and how these guys are ripping
Yeah.
people off with this World Cup.
But in different ways, it was controversial because of that. The laborers who died building the stadiums and getting the infrastructure in place. But then there was also the LGBTQ community. because
LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Can you say it fast? LGBTQ. No. Is there another letter at the end of it? LGBTQ?
Plus.
There's a plus now.
There's a plus.
What's a plus for?
Listen, I'm not getting into that right now.
sorry.
Essentially,
LGBTQ plus. Let's talk about Kerala origin team Tashin Mohammed creates history, set to be represent Qatar at FIFA World Cup in 2026.
ooh, wow.
That's another great benefit that comes out of hosting a World Cup. That host country, which may be a new player in the football arena, actually tends to do well in the future. It's like impetus to their football program. So you can see it here.
Great.
Ajay, we've talked about this 100 times. He's Kerala background. Who's a Canadian chick, Indian background, who's modeling. All these people, it's sad. You got so many people from Goa that have gone to the UK and excelled in politics. Why should it take you leaving your country and going to another country
Exactly.
to excel? And that speaks volumes. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, people like to talk and complain, but we on the show like to educate. We like to have a laugh. We do what we can to put a smile on your face, but we need to talk about these things, and somebody needs to talk about these things because nobody else will. And that's our little way, that's our little contribution, and that's a little way we can give back. On the Rebello Show, we talk about these topics that are very contentious, but we're not doing it for any other reason
Yeah.
than to make people aware.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
What are you going to say?
Well, basically, I just wanted to say congratulations to some extended family members who got married this week.
Who? Extended family members.
Yes.
Wilbert. No. Who is it?
Simon and Stephen, they got married on
Simon and Stephen.
Wednesday.
Where did they get married?
Yes, they got married in the northeast of England.
Simon and Stephen, congratulations. SNS.
Well done, you two.
Do I know them?
Yeah, you met them at Philip's 70th birthday party last year.
Give them another kiss, Joanne, please. Yes.
Simon and Stephen,
And
congratulations.
also congratulations to one of my bezies who's now got a new grandson. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Who's that?
Mwah.
Oh, you won't tell. Because she's having a grandkid.
Hey, you know,
So what?
congratulations.
Don't be so
Hey,
vain.
I'm not giving the game away.
Everybody needs a friend like Joanne who wishes you every time on the show.
That's exactly why we do the show. And ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of another show. Just like Joanne did, you can send a shout out. You can get involved and connect people anywhere in the world right here live on the show. The social media handles are on your screen. Wherever you get your social media from, get in touch with us. We really appreciate the support and we love the love. Get in touch with us. Send us a like. Leave us a comment. Subscribe to The Merv Brito Show. Check out our website, www.themervbritoshow.com. And if you want to get in touch with us and you want to contact somebody live on the air and wish them for whatever the reason, congratulate them or talk about something we're talking about, get in touch with us live. 7507-246-246. That's +91 7507-246-246. Tell loads of people about what we do. Show us some love. We really do appreciate it. And that's the end. Ajay, we talked about this mental health crisis, and we weren't kidding. Get in touch with us. If you know somebody who's going through a hard time, reach out, dude. You've got enough discomfort, enough pain, enough people going through really, really tough times, and it's your responsibility as a human being to help. Cooge, we mentioned Cooge, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Merv, and if they want to blow off some steam, you know, the best therapeutic advice I can give them,
Call me.
called the Merv Burrow Show.
Boom, boom, baby. We'll get
telling
your mind off the pain. And if you're looking for a job, I wasn't kidding, dude. If anybody wants a job on the show, I'm looking to hire some people full time. Come here, we'll train you. Get in touch with us. Same number, +91 750 7246 246, or get in touch with us on social media. I will gladly give you a job. Even for Infinite, we run an ISP called Infinite. We provide internet connections. If you're looking for a job in any capacity, send me a message. I swear to you, I'm not kidding. We're willing to put in the time and the effort. If you're willing to put in the time and the effort, we can come together. Well paid, well trained. Come work with us.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another show. I hope you've enjoyed what we've done. We've enjoyed trying to entertain you. We've talked about some a whole array of topics, but it's more to educate and advise, to put a smile on your face. If you know something that we don't, get in touch with us. Let us know. But for now, this is Merv Brito on behalf of the rest of the team and all of you guys out there. Listen, have a wonderful week. We will see you next Sunday. My name is Merv Brito. Out.